Hey, hi, hello, very good morning and good evening, everyone. Welcome to our DevOps training from joindevops.com. So we have waited for a few minutes for everyone to join. I think most of us are here, and we're excited to announce that basically our training is, so today the participants is from different countries, by the way, so which we are seeing the students are coming from Bangladesh, Philippines, USA, Vietnam, Malaysia, Australia, and as well as from India mostly. So good to see all you here. And just little highlights of our training before starting the actual agenda of the today's session. So we are giving you 140 plus hours of live training, by the way, and every day there'll be a daily Q&A sessions if you have any questions, kind of a thing. So as a part of our training, so we'll try to deliver the good project. The project is the only 1 hour strength, by the way, as a part of this particular training. And also along with that, so you will get some interview prep kind of a thing as a part of this particular training as well. All right. So these are the things which we have as part of this particular training. And I think let's get into the agenda. We're on time. We just start with this. So today's agenda is going to be simple, by the way. So it's going to be majorly three parts. One, anyhow, at the end, we are going to have Q&A for everyone. And I would like to make it interactive, but just in the interest of time, so let me try to go with giving a quite bit of introduction about what we're going to or where we are coming from as a part of DevOps, by the way. So how the industry has been evolved and how that particular DevOps came into picture. And the next one is we are going to learn what are the things that you're going to learn and why are you learning that. So a very important aspect as well. So these are the things. And finally, if you have any questions, we'll take it at the ending. Just consider that for today's session, just in organizing in time, because everyone comes from different background and different thoughts and things like that. So for some time, let's get aligned in what we're actually trying to do here. And then probably if you have still any questions, we'll take it up. All right. Otherwise, most of the things would be covered mostly before your Q&A itself. Some of the things will get addressed as well. And once again, very good morning and good evening, everyone. Welcome to our joindevops.com training. And myself is Raghu, and I'm the trainer for this particular program, and I'm having total 5 years of IT experience, and I'm completely working as a engineer from starting up my career. And almost I've been teaching this particular training from past 13 years. And from past 9 years exclusively on DevOps completely, I've been doing it. And also I am a working guy, and this as considered as, we do for part-time or short-time kind of a thing, or we do is this training as our freelancing thing. So otherwise we work for or I work for an organization, and where I work as a SME, by the way, for infrastructure area, especially onto the DevOps process and cloud aspect, by the way. And mostly my experience covers to go with fintech and enterprise organizations. So as you know that, most of the critical IT is finance and banking systems, and most of my experience come from there. So that's where that knowledge will eventually will help us in talking the things, or and I mean maybe when I cover certain aspects. So those particular aspects I would feel like, so I can cover more in a real-time fashion because of the experience I'm holding and the domain I'm working in, by the way. Okay. So that's a quick introduction about myself. So now let's get on to the actual agenda. We wanted to understand, okay, first thing is, what is before DevOps, right? Before DevOps, what we were doing, okay, or even DevOps or whatever it is. I'm an engineer all the time. I'm an engineer. I mean, I did not got the job once after the DevOps came into the market. I was there all the time, right? And so the IT industry is there from 3 decades, or at least you can say it's almost like for 4.5 decade, the industry is still there. Like IT industry, if you consider it is there from past 45 years easily, even could be more than that, 1970s, right? So yeah, close to 50 years, the industry is there, and the rules are not new, by the way. All right. So things like that are already there, right? I did not got the job once I get the DevOps, right? It was there all the time. Okay. Now, what I used to do and how do I get the job? So that's what we need to understand, basically. So what is the market? Basically, whenever we are getting a job, Okay, there should be some business involved. If there is a business, the job will come into picture. Now, what is this business, and where are we getting the job from? That's what we need to understand. That is where our job coming is from, one of the area which is called as SDLC. SDLC stands for Software Development Lifecycle, wherein the organizations who makes the products and sell them, okay, or use them. Okay, basically, when you see the IT industry, they were, they were mostly like selling the products, right? So when any IT industry started, by the way, so the product based companies are there, and as well as service based companies are there, and as well as the business based companies are there. So three aspects, right? The product based companies will make the products like Oracle, right, as like a Microsoft, things like that. But whereas you have a service-based companies, like maybe you take Accenture, or you take, uh, you take TCS, Infosys, like these companies, they'll go for a service-based, and so they try to deliver the services, and to whom they deliver the services, which is the business-based companies. The business-based companies is manufacturing, maybe a car manufacturing, okay, so maybe a bank, okay, okay, so maybe a government, like this, so whoever is a consumer of the services, so they will try to be there. Now the industry has been evolved in such a way that, so today is basically the middle person, whoever is this or not even the middle person, by the way. So there used to be a product based company who makes the products, and there's a service based company who actually make the services for the customer who is needed for the business based company. But today business is actually trying to make their own products, okay, according to their needs. So today market is evolved in such a way that, so trying to make the products as per their requirements, okay, continuously trying to develop the things as per their requirement. And that's where today you see everyone is into, okay, even in the SDLC, if you look in, now let's say you go to the bank, they make their own kind of a software. Of course, they use some products, maybe like a database, some guy, okay, so development, some guy, they'll try to use that. But however, okay, so they blindly will not buy the software completely. So today they are evolving in such a way that, so they're making their services according to their customer needs, right? Now you make a product for one company that may not be suitable for everyone, right? So that's where like diversity will come into picture, like everyone have their own needs, kind of a thing. And today business focuses is more on to how to make their own products, kind of a thing, and how to serve their customers better in that particular aspect. And also you need to understand, in this whole SDLC business, where we are actually getting more revenue is basically web-based application. Now, today are getting a major boom in the market that, hey, there's a DevOps, there's a cloud and things like that, because people are accessing over the web. That means like earlier people used to install a application in the desktop, the kind of a thing they used to run, or else you go inside the office, then only the application will work, something like that. But today it's all becoming web in the sense like it can be a mobile app or web app, both, anything is okay, but it is web, by the way. All right, web-based applications is the trend. And when we usually talk about web-based applications, I always talk about an example, Microsoft Office only. In Microsoft Office, if you know Microsoft Office, so what we used to know Microsoft Office, at least people from maybe 15 years back or something like that, people who knows the machines or computers, by the way. So if I want to install an Office, then I purchase a CD, DVD and install in my system. So that has been evolved in such a way that now Office 365 is completely available on the browser. Okay, so simple. So you go to the Office and you kind of just, okay, log in. So to an extent you get it for free, and beyond that you have to pay for them and get all these particular tools, whatever you install, they're getting it. And Microsoft went in such a way that, so now they have Windows 365 also. Last year they have announced Windows 365. They went to an extent that giving the machines itself, it's on the browser directly. So you don't really have your local machine. You can have any machine, doesn't really matter. Okay, basic machine which can connect to their website, and you have the complete access to that particular machine and all the things. So even the machines are getting onto the cloud, by the way, or completely on the web, by the way. Okay, you get a machine over the web. If you go here, just on the web browser, like any other email or accessing whatever, when you're accessing, you're going to get a machine just directly on the browser. So that to that level, the web-based business is actually the scope is, okay. And the trend has been set by Google quite some time back, maybe 2 decades back. Okay, so Yahoo, Google, these guys actually was the trendsetters for the web-based applications, especially even eBay. Okay, these were the trendsetters for like proving that in the market that web is possible. Okay, so then everyone started, getting onto that market. So today, web is a trend. Okay, so that is where, so the major revenue of today's any company, business-based company, is coming through the web applications, by the way. They're solving over the web, right? And that's where you need to understand. So this web application scaling also, like to what extent these guys are actually scaling. Now, probably, okay, if you look in the Netflix, by the way, so they're saying that, hey, in Netflix web page, I have 1,000 services. They're telling I have 1,000 services to microservices to solve the Netflix web page. The Twitter is telling that I have 1,200 services to give you the Twitter web page. Okay, and so Uber is telling that they are running with 2,200 critical services. Now, even a car manufacturing company. So these three are web-based applications. So today is all modern cars, and so the data they are collecting and all. So here they're saying like the Mercedes-Benz is telling that some of their infra is powered with 900 Kubernetes clusters. So imagine that the things are big behind the scene. Okay, huge. Things are huge. Okay, so that is one of the important aspects of these web applications when we talk about. So it's not so easy to manage behind the scene for a companies who work at a scale. It's going to be very critical effort, by the way. So maybe if you see Google and all, you'll see big numbers, but unfortunately they won't share the numbers and all. They don't share their insights usually to the other organizations, especially Google. That's where we can't actually get their maybe blips and keep it over here. But ideally, imagine it is bigger only. Like you go to Facebook anytime you access Facebook. So now you ask how many servers does Facebook have, right? So I mean, this may be for different applications, does not really matter. And this is itself is telling like I would say like this is a very small answer. This is a wrong answer also. Okay, at least. Okay, so in 2009 itself, in one of their conversation, so they were telling they were powering up with, so some 30,000 servers. Okay, when they started with. So it should be even more than that. Okay, huge and huge. So their data centers are huge, by the way. Okay, so 2010 itself, they were telling 60,000 machines, right? So today it's vast, huge. Okay, like infra is going to be huge only. Okay, so that's where they need to, things behind the scene are so critical, right? And that's what we need to understand. So web-based applications means it's not a happy path as well, right? So it has to be, very, and it will be a difficult thing only sometimes. But that's where our engineer should come into picture. Okay, why are we getting paid is because the business is critical. Now, if any company is losing a website for some hours of time, okay, that impacts directly in their revenue, right? So in the stock and all, so reputation get affected, and they will lose the business, right? So that is where, okay, it's very critical. Infra is critical. Okay, once upon a time, like so at least the COVID has made in such a way that without internet you can't eat food. Also, it became like that, right? So the digitalization went in such a way that if you don't have a mobile or data or even the application with you, so people are not even ready to serve the food. Also, it became to that extent, right? So the digitalization went into that extent, and to maintain that, the business criticality is very important, and that's where engineers are very important, guys, by the way. Okay, in that particular aspect. Now let's move on. Okay, so I wanted to give the context that these web-based applications are a kind of bigger applications, by the way, so that you need to always think that these are the big things. And for such big projects, by the way, or any general project, if someone want to develop the project, by the way, so the whole project, right? So including the infrastructure, so they need to follow certain methods, by the way, right? So now I'm giving this particular training. I'm trying to construct in step by step. I started from some place, and I after that telling something, and then moving on to something. I'm constructing it, right? So now the product development is also a mentality that so you need to achieve certain milestones that you kind of develop the good product, by the way. And that is where the product development methodology falls into majorly, if you look in two methodologies, by the way. So one is waterfall and other one is agile, by the way. One guy is waterfall and other guy is agile. Majority of the products you can consider has been developed in the market with these two methodologies. That's what the market trends will tell you. And mostly, at least I don't see anything other than these two. I worked in waterfall, now it is agile. These are only methodologies I have worked in at least. And these two are major, by the way. You have some other things also, but these two are the legends, by the way. And waterfall used to be the old model, maybe like 10, 12 years back. If you see in the product development, they used to go with some sort of waterfall model. And this model is pretty simple, by the way. So it's only like, so it's a downstream, by the way. Like, so that means, you decide something and you implement it, right? It's as simple as that. But agile is a kind of a looping, by the way. It's continuous. Okay, that's the difference. It will come. And this continuity brings certain advantages and things like that. And also a lot of pain to the persons who is working as well. Agile is not happy path. Waterfall we used to enjoy, by the way. So 2-3 hours you work also is hardly you get a time. I mean, you hardly work for 2-3 hours a day. Okay, your whole day used to be a happy path only. I mean, you enjoy it, by the way. It used to be like that only earlier when the waterfall model, because the changes are not that frequent. But agile, by the way, every week is a target. Every 2 weeks is a target. Okay, you more or less we became a machine only. You'll get exhausted in agile, but no other option. Business will expect some outcome, right? So, I mean, today that is the market reality. No other option, that we can't escape that. Okay, so but whatever it is, waterfall is downstream. So you start somewhere and deliver it. So maybe a long roadmap. At least if whoever knows this, an operating system called as Windows XP. Until Windows XP, it's a pure waterfall model you can consider. At least just a best example to start with. That means like you never used to get an update, by the way, right? So you always you will get a service pack once in 6 months, once in a year. Okay, you get one service pack, but until then, no updates. But today you see this every operating system now and then they're sending updates only. Every month one update will be there. Windows means every 2 days, well, one update will be there. I don't know now how is it stabilized, but some time back. Okay, so I used to see that. So I'm mostly now a Mac OS guy. But these Mac OS also will send some other time, they'll send the updates. Once in 15 days or once in a month, you get an update. Oh, you get so many updates. Your mobile, you open it, every day you get one or other application update, right? So those are all agile. Because these are all guys getting onto agile. Now, moving on. So basically, like in the waterfall model, so there used to be teams, by the way, different teams used to work in this particular area. As I mentioned, it's a downstream. So you start gathering the requirements and you implement it to the maintenance. Now, there are certain teams which is involved in this particular work. So one is the business analyst guy. The BA guy used to gather the business requirements. Okay, so our product is thinking like this. They'll talk to business people, okay, business owners, and so they gain the context. Okay, so how they are actually trying to, what is their strategies and things like that to understand the business. And this guy convert that into a development story, we call it up, okay, or a development task. He will convert that thought process into a workable development thing, okay, and ask the developer to develop that. Okay, so that is where these design people or developers will come into picture and design the things and develop the product according to their requirements. And next, okay, so there's a QA people usually will be there. So they are going to test the product. So because testing is also very important, by the way. So they need to test the product. And finally, we need to deploy this on some server so that our end user, whoever is accessing it, so should access it. So the change will be applied to that guy. So he will see the change. Now, to do this in waterfall model, we used to have many teams, by the way. So we used to have middleware team. We used to call it as middleware team. So because earlier there used to be middleware softwares, by the way. So these are dead technologies, but let's talk about that. So like WebSphere. So this is one of the, so one of the tools that used to be there in the backend. Okay, good tools, not saying like, these are bad tools, but good tools, but which is not needed for today's world because it's mostly microservices, not monolith services. So that is where, okay, so these two tools are widely used at those times for big applications, by the way, the monolith applications, because once in a while only you get the update and all. This middleware team used to manage that. Okay, but so this is how it is. And after that, these middleware team is running some software inside an operating system. Those are servers, and those server team is basically is there. That is OS team will be there. Okay, there'll be some OS team. And after that, you're going to have storage, by the way. So, or basically this OS, by the way, and along with the OS, you have an application is running. Application will have a database also, right? the DBA will come, database administrator will come. And after that, so the database is coming in and application is coming in. Now, the data inside these guys is so critical, by the way, in such a way that you require a backup as well, right? Now, you are going to go with a backup team. So there's a separate team for backups. And all these particular things need to store in a very, even the backup also, you should store it in a place that where, okay, your storage should be there and things like that. So it's a storage team will be there. And all these devices need to be connected. So that's a network team. Okay. Now, all these particular devices will be placed in a nice data center. There's a data center team. It's all collaboration, right? And ultimately, this is a web application. The security aspect of the application is very important. That's where AppSec team also will be there. And along with that, some monitoring team will be there. So L1 monitoring, who monitors the application and things like that. Okay. So this is what is the trend used to be there in the waterfall model. So to release a product, by the way, these many teams has to work on that. Whereas the developers are doing the things much better. Testing teams are doing bit better. But however, when it comes to the deployment, it used to be a lot of challenge because many teams actually need to evolve or collaborate here, right? So that is one of the challenge that people were looking for an alternative here. And at the same time, the industry has also been evolving. And the development side, they have evolved into waterfall model to agile. Now the things are coming to agile world now. Okay. So when the things are coming to agile, okay, so now the same pattern is being evolved, by the way. Same teams are being coming into picture, but the things are not working because waterfall model, these teams are able to work because we have a clear downstream map. Okay, so we'll have a clear cut path that network team, okay, during this week they'll make the change, and OS team during this team they'll make the change, and middleware team this time frame they'll make the change. It's all good, by the way, happy path. But however, when it comes to the agile, okay, everyone has to do in the same week only. Then a lot of challenges used to come, collaboration especially, right? So that's where now certain but the developer is getting affected in releasing the product in a much faster way, and ultimately the business is getting affected. So because right, so we are not able to release the features as fast as possible, and that's where people were looking in some better process, and that's where the DevOps process came into picture, right? Now, what is DevOps? Basically, if you start searching like what is DevOps in internet, rather than taking my statement, by the way. So maybe let's go with Amazon Web Services and what is their AWS? In AWS, what they're considering as what is DevOps. So DevOps is a cultural philosophy and a practices and some tools as well, right? So it's a philosophy, like approaches and some practices, adoption of the practices, and increases in the organization ability to deliver the applications and services at a high velocity, by the way, right? So that is what is the process. DevOps comes as a process, by the way. Now, someone need to be implementing this particular process in the organization ultimately, right? So someone would be there to implement this particular process, and that's where, okay, and that's where an engineer comes into picture to do this particular one, and also his role is also aligned to that, by the way. Now, whatever the previous all the teams were doing it, so now this guy is actually doing this particular job. And what is his roles and responsibilities? By the way, his roles and responsibilities are like this. He ensure the code shifts from the lower environment to higher environment without any issues. That means he release the product without any hurdle, by the way, right? And also once it goes there, he need to ensure there is no downtimes involved in there. Okay. So this aspect is also very important. Now, overall, you need to understand, okay, so because there are so many people, now this poor fellow can do all this particular job. We need to understand that, right? So yes, he can do the job because there's a industry evolution on certain things is happening, right? So what is the industry evolution? The development team has moved from waterfall to agile. It's already happened. And, we talked about certain process and all. And also the developers actually also changed their tech from, making the monolith application to microservices. What is monolith? What is microservices? Simple. A big piece has been cut into small pieces, and that piece is called as a microservice. A big service cut into small service, that's a microservice. And again, all together becomes a big service, which serves the customer. And that's where Netflix, you see 1,000 microservices. Rather than making 1,000 services as one piece, they become a modular. They made it as a modular, right? So you can just made it as a modular. That's it, as simple as that. And that reduces a lot of burden on the middleware, by the way. Okay. And it becomes very easier to manage also. Management perspective is very easier because monolith applications and all, so is a challenge, by the way. Okay. Now, if some issue happens also, where the issue happens also, we don't know. Okay. For an example, I would always give this example like HDFC. I mean, HDFC is one of the leading bank in India. Okay. So in capital, by the way, in India, it stands in the second place on its total capital that HDFC holding in out of total Indian companies. Okay. So this is the second largest company right now, right? So this is a big bank, by the way. So very legacy bank, very huge one. Okay. Huge. When I say huge, it's huge. Okay. That huge it is, massive one. And these guys actually went on a downtime in 2019. That okay. So that time it was a very big case study for many people, by the way. Now it went on downtime on the month starting. Okay, on the starting of the month for a couple of days, causing the lot of chaos. Okay, lot of chaos on the market. That so lot of EMIs, a lot of bank transfers, everything will happen on the starting of the month, and the systems were down for a couple of days on that particular month. And okay, so it's not even month starting. I think it's basically, this is the article. It came on um, came on December, by the way. I think it is majorly on month ending. It was lasted till month end, by the way, something like that. Okay, so that's where they had a very massive downtime and they couldn't bring their systems for at least, I remember, 3 days. Okay, majority of most of the services were down, and that impacted their business a lot, by the way. Okay, that went even to an extent that governance came into picture. Okay, like RBI in India came into picture, imposed a fine. Okay, saying 1.5 year they're not supposed to issue any credit cards for that company. So 1.5 year from there they did not issue any credit card. That a fine they got it, because company, I mean, bank anyhow generates the business on credit cards, right? So because that's how, I mean, they earn the money. One of the aspects that they earn the money, and they lost it, right? So that's where infrastructure, when it is massive and is monolith, by the way, these are the challenges. You can't bring in the things much faster, because a big piece, dealing with that particular big piece is, finding out the problem, where it is a huge challenge. Okay. And that's where the microservices is easier to manage, by the way. Right. So that's where, this is how it is. And the next one is, the OS team used to be there earlier. Now OS team we don't need to bother about, because there is another evolution happening into the market and everyone getting onto the cloud and all. So the cloud will take care of the OS part. So you don't much bother about that. Okay. So storage, cloud will take care. Backup, cloud will take care. Network, cloud will take care. Data center, no data center, it's cloud. Okay. DBA, okay. To majority of the extents, we talk about generic way, the cloud will take care. But some things which is coming as a part of, I mean, not a supported database by a cloud vendor, maybe it falls under our bucket to manage that, but still it's okay. And also is again, today's most databases are development driven, by the way, not a admin driven. Okay, especially, right? So there's also a change in the approach of databases as well. The NoSQL databases and all will come into picture. Maybe infra you try to maintain, but beneath the scene, the database and all, it's mostly like developer driven kind of a thing. Otherwise, you'll have some work, no doubt in that. If it is not a database which is supported by the vendor, okay, by the cloud vendor, maybe you'll take the vendor from the vendor support and you try to manage that. But still, okay, so some part of the work will be involved out there, but that's okay. It's manageable. It's not like a big elephant like earlier or earlier, by the way. And there is an AppSec and InfoSec which is there. So these guys used to be there as well. Okay. Now these AppSec, InfoSecs also in the last couple of years, if we see, by the way, these roles also getting evolved into your tools, by the way. So today, like you're taking a lot of cloud services. The cloud itself will offer some of the AppSec, InfoSec services if you are completely hosted on cloud. Whereas if you are a hybrid model, you have something on your data center, something on the cloud and all. In that aspect, actually, the tools are evolving and the tools will help us. Okay. There are tools like, so check marks and things like that, so these tools will really help in dealing with application security. Okay. So these are the different things, and some of the aspects will come in the cloud, and mostly adding that also to your process, security also to your process. You become a DevSecOps engineer, and our course is a DevSecOps. Actually, we are mentioning it as DevOps. I think it's time for us to change the headings and all. It becomes we are actually almost dealing with the DevSecOps. Because we are dealing with those tools. In the whole process, security is one of the pillar now. Earlier, it used not to be. It used to be a separate guy who used to manage, but it's mostly coming into our area as well because the tools are evolving, okay, especially in this area. So that's where this guy is able to manage the things, all the things earlier these guys are doing with the help of, because the cloud is a massive one that is changing and solving many of the things, plus something related to the application, something related to the database, and something related to the security. You have to take care of, managing that particular thing. So that's where this person is actually coming into picture. Okay, so that covers the second part of our agenda today. Okay, how this DevOps has been evolved, right? So coming to the third part of the one. Okay, so what is the third part? What is the tools that we want to learn and all? But however, before to that, the general question that usually people will ask are, there's a lot of inconsistency in the market right now. Uh, at least like this week, couple of countries has already posted they are in recession, especially like Japan and UK has already officially confirmed they are in recession kind of a thing, right? And we don't know other countries how it goes and all. But yeah, so overall market is bad, no doubt in that. Okay, and how it turns out we don't know completely. But however, engineer is eventual. Okay, engineer is inevitable by the way, because no one actually is going to remove the applications. Like while they may stop the new development things, but they don't stop the running things, right? So maybe out of 10 engineers they are paying, they may pay 2 engineers, but at least the 2 engineers should be there, right? So that is where, so the overall the market is fine. At least I would look in, especially the engineer, there's no immediate threat. And the second thing is whatever is happening around this AI kind of a thing is also, it takes a longer time. It's not an immediate threat, I would see. But yeah, so overall it may or may not have the impact, but at least it's not, I don't see it as an immediate potential threat to any of the thing. But yeah, so something is cooking there, no doubt in that. Now, what is um, DevOps? Um, DevOps trend, maybe what I was searching, or I already added a screenshot by the way. So let me just, so here, what is how is market for DevOps? So this is a simple thing which I searched in the morning and I added this. How is market for DevOps? So this is what it is, so some guy, whoever it is telling, okay, so whoever it is, so anticipated to grow only. I don't see any shrink in the market for DevOps, especially, and it's not possible as well. While the many things are digitalizing, okay, ultimately the development will come and the engineer will come. So it's no reason that you will. It's not a hard end. I mean, that's what I mentioned. Like engineer, I've been there all the time. So my role is there from 40 years, not new today. I've been doing my job, okay, in a different way, right? So my tools were changing, okay, my methods were changing. I've been evolving, and we will evolve, right? So this is one of the youngest industry we know, right? Software industry is one of the youngest industry. Like remaining industries are there from some time, okay. So you take manufacturing, you take so banking, so the two major areas, especially like you consider them. So these are there from quite some time. We are the most youngest, so 50 years old. That's it, hardly. And evolution is definitely will be there. And yeah, so as a part of that, been changing our faces. Okay, that's it. But internally, it is always same, right? So our aspects and our role of the things doing it is always remain same. And that's how, okay, there is nothing too much to worry, at least worry prospective. But again, so overall market is down, no doubt in that. So that's how it is. So that comes to the end of today's session. Sorry, not today's session. In today's topics, by the way, so the second agenda is completed. And the third agenda for today's session is what are the tools. Okay, if we remember the agenda of what we were discussing, the third agenda was the tools that what you're going to learn in the session, right? So that is very important. So of course, this all history is unnecessary for everyone, right? So many of you might know it also. But here, so the tools what we are going to learn is over here is very, very important, by the way, right? And end of the day, like the delivery happens on this, and ultimately, like, there's a big question that so, and big confusion also. Like many of you might not know what is DevOps, and you need to, okay, learn something, but you're all confused. By the way, you open one website, DevOps training, you see some syllabus. You open another training, you see some other syllabus. What is this? Is all big headache, right? So yeah, it is a headache even for us also. Okay, people like me who want to teach also is a big worry. Okay, and that's where we need a guidance as a trainer. I also need guidance. You're a student, you also need guidance by the way, hey, you learn this. For me, you teach this, right? So something like that. And that's where, okay, so one of the beautiful website come into picture, which is a roadmap.sh. Okay. So roadmap.sh is a very, very good website, by the way, for learners, by the way. Okay. For especially in the IT software development area. So this is a very good website. And this has changed, this has took a potential in such a way that in a very short term, at least 3 years, 4 years down the line, I mean, back in the years, 3, 4 years back, I mean, in 3, 4 years itself, they have reached the sixth most started project in the GitHub community. In the GitHub web page, they landed in the sixth place. Okay. So it's a good achievement as well, because a lot of people actually this became a guidance now today. Okay, even a lot of companies. Okay, so looking, and this is a big community as well. Okay, so who actually do this is a community. Okay, it's a community driven thing, and that's where, okay, so it's only like suggestion coming out of these guys, right? So, and the suggestions comes from a lot of bright minded people already, and we don't to worry about too much and simply adopt this, by the way. So we are also taking their roadmap related to the DevOps, and there are other roadmaps as well. Okay, so related to the DevOps, so we'll be choosing this. Now, when you go to this particular one, so they give you different verticals here. Okay, different verticals, and I think that that's the way they are organizing. Let's say you go to the front end, they give different verticals, by the way. So what are the different verticals you learn? Internet, HTML vertical, CSS vertical, JavaScript vertical, like this, different verticals they'll provide. So DevOps also the same thing. They are providing a different verticals. In each and every vertical, you should cover. You should know some or other thing about a vertical, by the way. And so that is where is a very important aspect of to become a DevOps engineer, because a lot of people actually is looking DevOps as you learn 2, 3 tools and you become a DevOps engineer. Okay, so that's not the right approach of becoming a DevOps engineer. You may become by going on the wrong side of the road. You may go home, but there is no guarantee, right? There's no guarantee, isn't it? So that's where, okay, you might become, but still not in the right way, not in an organic way. So that's where, okay, so we need to have a knowledge on each and every vertical, especially. And this is a DevOps, and security is not mentioned as a DevSecOps, by the way. So that's where that one thing is missing here, which is fine. But however, this is different verticals. In each and every vertical, again, they talk about, okay, so their opinion as a community, they suggest something, and there's an alternative opinion as well. So, and this personal opinion comes into a picture, which is depends upon the market trend. Okay, how is the futuristic scope, and the market usage, how is it going on? All these particular aspects is considered, and they tell to learn something, and we're cherry picking from here, and we're doing that. Okay, our syllabus is formed purely from here, right? So that is where, okay, so we are covering each and every vertical, by the way. We have a programming language, we have a Python, and as an operating system, so we deal with RHEL, and in the terminal, we learn about certain commands, Linux, certain commands and things like that. And scripting, by the way, so we cover bash scripting, and this is just an editor, which is an editor. In Linux, you'll anyhow learn it, that's okay. Now coming down, so there's a version control system. So Git we teach with GitHub. And so this is a project related, so the architectures will be there, the project architecture, how a web application will be there, and all what are the different aspects in there. So you will see that with the help of project. And the containers, by the way, so the containers are Docker you are going to learn, and the cloud AWS you are going to learn, and network security protocols. These are all different protocols. These are mandatory, by the way, that you will understand it anyhow. And also next, coming to the serverless, you'll learn AWS. Anyhow, we're learning it's AWS Lambda. And infrastructure provisioning, you will learn Terraform. And the configuration management tools, Ansible. And learn some CI/CD tools. You learn Jenkins and GitHub Actions. You learn these 2 tools. And secret management, so we're going to learn Vault. And infrastructure management, infrastructure monitoring, you're going to learn Prometheus and Grafana. Okay, and application monitoring, you will learn New Relic. Log management, you will learn Elasticstack. Container orchestration tool, you'll learn Kubernetes. And Artifact management, you will learn Artifactory. You will learn Artifactory. And then GitOps, by the way, so mostly deployment tools, CD tools. Okay, so we will learn Argo CD. And one more tool is also there, which is not here, because Argo CD, they are mostly keeping it because of the latest modern trends. And again, okay, so there is, if your application is completely on a server also, you can't deal with Argo CD. So that's where you require an alternative. That's where Go CD is one more tool is there. We'll talk about that also. Okay. Now, service mesh in Kubernetes by using Istio is what we are going to cover. And some cloud patterns anyhow will be there. Like, we talk about how do you deal with your application in highly available and things like that. So we'll deal with that. Okay. So end of the day, what we're going to do is, okay, we'll align more into the trends, by the way, or we'll align more into the our roles, by the way. So what is our role? Our role, when I mentioned, so the roles of a DevOps engineer, so they ensure the code shifts from lower environment to higher environment without any issues. That means lower environment means whoever is a developer is using his code there. So from that environment to the customer using environment, so you have to take the code which is developed by the developer in a smooth manner. And whatever you're learning is completely aligned to this, by the way. This is your role, and all the things, whatever you learn should align here, end of the day. Okay. And the next one is ensure we don't have any downtimes involved while the application running on the live servers. These are the two aspects. So that means when you run your application, how is it behaving? And so when you're actually changing the code, by the way, how is it behaving? So that's what we are going to do here by end of the training. So we'll have a lot of backlog we'll create, by the way. It's all mind map. You may not understand directly, but it's all okay. Mind map we'll create. So we'll take all the different problems. Okay. And end of the day, what we are going to achieve here is, so this one, the project. So the project, by the way, so what we're going to do is we run so many requests to the server. You can see some 28,000 requests I'm sending to the machine. And on that particular time, okay, so we'll try to do the strategies, by the way. So we'll try to do a deployment strategies. We'll try to do all servers at a time, one server at a time. We'll see the strategy patterns, anti-patterns. Okay. And also next thing that falls here is, okay, so our goal is, so here we got some 22 errors and ultimately we lead it to some 0 errors. So here 28,000 requests I have sent and I got some 22 errors. Now after the 17,000 requests I sent, I don't see any errors. Even here I sent some 25,000 requests and there's 2 errors came into picture, and this is also ignorable, by the way. So, and something, okay, we were analyzing, by the way. So that's okay. This is how the trend will happen, by the way. Okay, we'll generate a lot of load onto the application. We kind of monitor them somewhere, what's happening. Okay, how is our health of our application? Usually we'll get errors and we try to solve those particular errors. Now the 2 roles and responsibilities, what I was mentioning, you ensure you deliver the code in a smoother manner, whether you're doing that or not, whether you're doing that in application, how is it behaving? We'll completely do that because we have a lot of monitoring in place, and those monitoring is also there. And that's where doing this only, so some of the tools were coming into picture here, right? So there's this infra monitoring, app monitoring, log monitoring. Okay, these things will help us in projecting the dashboards like that. Okay, that's one thing. And the second thing is ensure there is no downtimes as well. So the monitoring is continuous. And if there is any issue, you get an alert and all. So how do you do that and all? You'll see. So that's where, so the tools, what we are going to learn is mostly to the guy over here is it is aligned. And when it comes to our syllabus again, so here in our syllabus, you can see the syllabus here. Okay, not this, sorry. Where is syllabus? Yeah. Yeah, on the top you have. So on the right side top, clicking on syllabus, and this is also low-level syllabus will be there. Yeah. Okay, you can see this. So we're going to start our training with 2 projects, by the way. So the project 1, we're going to first start with the project 1, and we're going to start with learning AWS and DevOps in parallel, by the way. It's not like one by one. So this goes in parallel. First, what we are going to do is we're going to learn the tools for server deployments and all. If you directly need to deal with the server, how do you do that? And the next one, how do you deal with the container? Second iteration, we're going to go for a second project. So it's going to be the biggest project that we are actually talking about, because we already set the context that, so it's not like hello world application that you learn, by the way, right? So hello world application should not be the application of hello world kind of a thing that you learn, because we already talked about the microservices, how complex they are, 1,000 services, 2,000 services people are talking. Now you go with one service and you learn the things is not the effective way. That you will not understand all the complexities, by the way. And also at the same time in the training, you can't go with 1,000 services also, right? It doesn't scale in the training. And that's where we are actually trying to deliver the second project with almost like 11, 12 services out there. And with the help of that particular project, we'll try to cover most of the scenarios. And that itself will give you a clear context of basically how the things will work, how the things are complex, all those particular things. And you'll see a lot of problem statements as well. Okay, it's not like happy path. We're going to get into a lot of problems. And our training, especially, we go with a greenfield approach. Okay, so when it is a greenfield approach, so what is meant by greenfield is basically we don't bring in anything prior to that, and we don't actually we don't actually just bring everything and just show you there, right? So it's no, everything is being made in the sessions only. There's a lot of code that we need to write it. Okay, so there's a lot of repositories will come, a lot of code will come. These are all the code, a lot of Terraform code. Okay, so in every repository you'll see Jenkins code, GitHub Actions code. You'll see many things out there. Everything we'll write it, and we will do that. Okay, so this is how the things which you are going to learn, by the way, will come into picture. So, and what we are doing is we're mostly inspiring from roadmap dataset, and we're doing that. All right. So that comes to the mostly covering the third part of today's session. And before taking any Q&As, I think I took 10 more minutes extra. But yeah, so just coming to the Q&A session, before going to the QA session or QA things, if any one of you have the questions. Now, how we are going to support you is basically so like I already mentioned in the starting itself. So we are going to support you with lab query session. So if you have any problem or any issue while you have any question, or when you have any issue while doing the lab, so this lab session we run for 8 hours almost, and we'll address your issues there. And along with that, there's a GitHub discussions as well. So it's more go in a pro way, by the way. So now let's say if you take any tool like something like maybe like Ansible or something like that. So this is the official page where Ansible development is happening. Okay. And over here, if anyone want to report an issue that something is there, then issues will come into picture. Okay, so it is an issue because it's a product, by the way. And the same way, these guys actually have one more thing called as discussions. Okay, so there's a discussions here. So people will be posting the discussions and we'll be answering them. Okay, so this is just like a chat, maybe more goes in a pro way. That's what you need to understand. And the lab sessions. And so we will provide you some sort of a customization in the lab setups and all, which will efficiently use the lab, by the way. That is one thing that we'll provide. It's not a big deal to discuss. That anyhow will be there. And apart from that, so we cover the big project like I already mentioned, and the video access you are going to get you're going to get for 1 year of access to those particular videos as well as a part of this training. Once after the session is completed, you get the recording. Okay, so you can watch it. The access will be there for 1 year, and during this 1 year, okay, you will be having this GitHub discussion and lab query session as well. Okay, we are not like you're completing the sessions, you're no one and I'm no one. It's not like that. So these sessions will continue, will be there. Okay, videos will be there, and videos also in any case that you couldn't able to manage to complete it, you want some extension, we'll work on that. Okay, it's not a big deal, by the way, but at least the minimum, the ask should be there. If you ask it, it will happen. That is how it is. And finally, like as I'm mentioning, some resume prep and all. So the highlights of our training we were discussing in the starting, right? So those all is there, by the way. All right. So the resume prep and all, how do you prep for the interviews and all, those will take care along with some mocks and all. All right. So that's about something about the things that I wanted to talk, by the way. And yeah, that's all. And if anyone have still any more questions, please raise your hand and wait for your turn. By the way, there's a raise hand option. You will see. You just please click on raise hand, and please wait. By the way, I'll just go in an order. Okay, I'll come for your turn, and we'll discuss. Okay, yeah. I am not able to hear you, Sai Teja.
Hi
Yeah,
Raghu.
yeah.
Like I'm working in TCS right now. Like my overall experience is 1.7.
Mhm,
Like I would like to learn DevOps. Like I have some knowledge in cloud. I have some certifications in GCP and AWS.
mhm.
Like my overall experience is 1.7. Like when I see in LinkedIn, like they are asking minimum 4 years of experience to shift the company in this particular field.
Mm. Yeah, it all depends, by the way, may or may not be true.
Yeah.
Again, it's a very general statement, right? So
Uh,
it's fine. Usually, like 2, 3 years, you usually start finding the jobs.
okay, like can I shift after like 2 years of 2.5 years in this
And
particular stream?
yeah, yeah, ideal. Until then, you prepare well.
Okay.
While your career, you thought of becoming a DevOps engineer. So don't leave it, and you just continue with the learnings. By the way, you have good as well, right? Enough time for practice as well. Prepare.
Okay, Raghu, thanks.
Hello.
Hey, hi.
I would like to ask, for example, we want to practice DevOps skills, but we are including me, I am confused with the pricing of AWS GCP, and I'm afraid to try them because some uh, developers I know they had troubles with the pricing of house and GCP. Can you advise something for us to, I mean, can you advise something about the pricing of house for practicing?
Yeah, for practicing this course, actually, there is a cost involved from Amazon, and because the Amazon also offers free tier, but that free we go beyond, and we are talking about a project, right? A big project. So
Yeah.
that's where you can't run the things everything on the free trial. So consider that you will be pay. I mean, if you are practicing around 3 to 4 hours of time in a day on an average in Amazon, like running the resources, burning the resources, you may end up paying $20 to $25 of price
Oh,
cost to Amazon. Yeah, that would come.
thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi Raghu. Pradeep here.
Yeah.
Raghu, as of now, I have 4.5 years of experience in some other different field like RP automation in web developer. As of now, I'm working as RP automation web developer.
Mhm.
So, is this good thought to go with DevOps, or do I need to switch some other technology? So, how hard it is to learn DevOps?
I'll not say easy, by the way, and I don't think so. Any other easy thing is also there.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So it's going to be hard, but that hard will give the returns, by the way. So like if you learn tools like RP or something like that for short term, by the way, so your jobs is always short term. But engineers long live, right? So that's where your scope of again switching again and again will not be there to go with the proper.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and
So,
choice
other,
wise, you better make it because you know better about you than anyone. So whether
yes.
this or that and all, you better think about it. You brainstorm about it. What is better for me? What is things like that? And if you decide, yes, I want to go with DevOps only, then if you come to me, I'll help you. But the decision me telling is not a good idea because my thought it may work for me, but it may work for you or not. I don't know, right? just for 1 minute, I can't tell about you. So that way I'm telling. So you
Yeah,
decide.
I already decided to go with the DevOps
If you made
because
your
the
mind, well,
short time.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be easy like RPA. So that much you just made your mind first, and then we'll
Yeah.
achieve it. Not any big deal.
Okay, sure. Thank you, Raghu. I don't have any exposure on
You will
Python
learn.
scripting.
You will learn.
Yeah.
No worries. We'll teach you. No worries.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Raghu.
Hello. Hi. Good morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I done degree in BSc Computer Science, and my passed out is 2018. And after that, I done hotel management. And up to now, I'm doing a job in five-star hotel as a chef. So I'm trying to shift uh, industry. Is may help you for
I think the
DevOps?
same answer I was giving to other one as well. So if you made up your mind and come to me, I can help you. But I'll not help you on the making up your minds, by the way. So you take the decision and come with a decision. I can help you with that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Right. I'm not able to hear you, Siva, if you're talking. Okay. Moving on.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, hi, sir. This is Sunil. Actually, my doubt is this course is for 3.5 months, right? Am I right?
Yeah, 3.5 months means 3.5 months of session. So would fall
Okay.
to adding Sundays and all.
Okay.
About till 4 months at a max. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then understand. After finishing this course, where I can place myself in this DevOps role, will I get the knowledge of an intermediate experienced guy, or like just as a fresher only?
No, some of the aspects which I cover, even you would say that, you get more than intermediate, I would say.
Oh, okay. And since I'm completely new to the IT, uh, will it be tough to understand, or you will take from the scratch itself?
Sorry, come again. I overheard you.
I am completely new to IT field,
Mhm.
so I like to learn DevOps. So on the beginning, it's very hard to understand the DevOps concept, or you will be taking from the scratch, so it will be easy to understand for everyone.
It will go from scratch only, but since you claim that you are coming from a not IT industry, you may feel difficult.
Okay.
That's okay. So if a person with comfortability,
Hmm.
by listening 2 times, 3 times a video, he's able to, understand it. So maybe you consider, you may need to do it for 10 times. That's
Okay.
okay. But you will be able to do that. It's not like the person who is coming from an IT is a,
Hmm.
a mastermind. Not coming from a non-IT is non-mastermind, something like that. No. It's only end of the day, how much effort you keep it and things like that. It is same only.
Okay. Sure. Thank you.
Yes, Siva. I'm not able to hear you. Yes, Raja.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Sir, I have a question. You have talked about many tools under certain sections. Do we have to learn all of them, or are they performing the same task?
No. It's all different verticals, right? Otherwise, this guy also will not put into the syllabus. I will also not teach it.
Uh, no, sir. There is a programming language like Python, Ruby, Go, and Rust. Do
Yeah.
we have to learn all of them?
No. This is one group. This yellow is one group. You learn one thing, you can able to do the job.
Right, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, it's like that.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, sir. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah.
Sir, I am a Merstack developer with 2 years of experience. My question is, I want to explore my field. I to explore the things of web applications, and is it better for me to learn DevOps? And I want to ask you, is it will remain my Merstack field, or I have to switch on to this field permanently? Yeah, both will attach each other.
Yeah. If you don't mind, you're working on which area you mentioned? Can you please come?
Merstack development.
Which stack?
Merstack.
Munstack. Okay.
Yes.
A new word to me. Is this the one? Okay. Munstack is a JavaScript framework. Okay. It's just you work on the UI.
Yes. Yeah, and backend also.
Okay. You're a full stack then.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Maybe it's called as a full stack. All right. So being a full stack, actually, you should have an idea on how the things to operate as well. And that's where,
Yes.
that's where you can learn this particular course. But however, saying that you're a full stack, you know, to really again cut down your role into certain part of the thing. So you can go with, you can still be full stack engineer, a full stack developer itself, and having a loaded knowledge of how even you deploy the application as well. That's where if you have an understanding of how to do this, like any web application you can deal with, right? So that's how it is. Yeah, you consider, my suggestion is you don't come out of that full stack to DevOps, by the way. So, but use DevOps to elevate your file.
Yes. Sir, I have already used AWS services, EC2, S3 buckets, and many of them. But I want to explore my field. I think in my knowledge, to learn this DevOps, I am enhancing my skills to in a market demand. Is it will help me to learn DevOps to enhance my skill and my demand?
Yeah, it will.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
For you, it is a right course even because being a full stack, by the way, you can change the stack at any point of time. Our project actually goes in the same manner. The web application has different programming languages like Python, Node.js, Java,
Yes.
Golang, all these things. You'll get a fair idea about it. So,
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
Hi.
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. My question is, I'm also a full stack developer, but my domain is related to the .NET basically. So I'm very much comfortable with the Azure. So my question is we mainly use AWS in this course. So is it good for or to have some touch of Azure as well, or though both are same?
Yeah, again, if you look into the syllabus, for us, by the way, it's a vertical. So vertical of the cloud, by the way, any cloud is fine. So here the suggestion is go with AWS or Azure, right? But remaining stack remains same, by the way. The cloud only will change. And that doesn't mean that you're working on .NET, .NET is applicable only for Azure, right? It's wrong as well. So
Okay.
it's very generalized way. So it's any other cloud, by the way. And if you really want to completely look onto the DevOps side of work, by the way, I think this course makes sense because AWS is generally widely used in the organizations when you compare, okay, with Azure, by the way. But Azure has two entities. So one, they support what they have done is they have converted every business into online, and they're moving that business to Azure side, by the way. So Azure is a separate entity business, separate altogether. It's a vertical, they made it, and they're shipping the business from Windows to Azure kind of a thing, by the way. And that's where, okay, so they're showing the revenue numbers high, but when it comes to the usage in the market, by the way, especially in the public clouds, Amazon is very high than Azure. Okay. So that's where it's a little bit confusing in the market. But coming to your question, by the way, so if you want to think about DevOps, I think this is the best approach to go with. And AWS or Azure, any one is fine. But at least also you can expect, so the same course, the same project running on Azure, by end of this year, we may give you the videos also, not without any extra cost. We'll keep it in our platform available for our old students as well. So that's what we're thinking of committing, by the way. We'll give you. At least
Thank
in
you.
the very last, like you think about that way, that also will come. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you.
Raghu, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Raghu, I'm working with Wipro currently in the non-technical sector. Is it possible for me to move to IT sector right with DevOps?
Yeah, you can. What is your designation, by the way, there?
As an associate, I'm working with content moderation sector.
I think that's fine. Associate should be fine. And Wipro doesn't have any name change, right? So Wipro IT does not have any separate name or something like that. Like
Okay.
No, I'm asking you.
I have experience, like I'm passed out of 2021. So is it possible for me to move to DevOps with this associate designation?
That's what I'm asking. It depends upon how they provide in the paper, right?
Okay.
When you say I'm working in Tata, there's a Tata Steel, there's a Tata Jindal, so many things are there. TCS is also there. Tata
Yeah.
Consultancy is also there. Now, how you're in an offer letter it is a Wipro. Okay, so Wipro has a separate entity for. I don't know much about Wipro. That's why I'm asking.
Okay.
So Wipro have a IT wing separately given there in their offer letter as of this is a Wipro IT and this is Wipro something like that. Is that something like that is there? If that is something like that, then you need to think about it. Otherwise, it is fine.
Is it possible for me to move without like as a fresher like that or?
Pressure may not be. So you have to apply some strategies. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, Raghu. Actually, like I'm around 15 years of experience in legacy systems. So like mainframe actually. So
Okay.
I'd like to transform myself into a DevOps and cloud landscape.
You
So
should.
like yeah, please.
No, you should actually. I'm saying.
Yeah,
You
that's
have to consider also. It should be. Yeah.
yeah. So like after this training and doing all the projects, like how much weightage that will add to my resume? So like how many years of experience I can put as a DevOps engineer or cloud practitioner?
A lot of weight actually for you, especially because you know or not, I don't know, by the way, there is a lot of business happening for mainframe offloading. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where you can always go to the market and say that, hey, we started as a mainframe guy, but we got an opportunity to offload mainframe, and I was part of that. And yes, and this is how we have done that, right? So now something, apart from this is all execution, by the way, what you're learning. But apart from that, some strategy, if you learn about something, maybe some articles or how people are doing and all, if you can able to find it out and identify what is the best way that, you can offload the mainframe. Then if you can add those particular things to your resume, I think it's one of your, heavy weighted resume, at least I would say.
Yeah, and one more thing is like there are some projects going on to implement DevOps concepts, keeping the code in mainframe itself, but like they wanted to have in outer layer having these DevOps things,
I
right?
don't know, boss, that will
Yeah.
really work.
Okay. Yeah, that things are there. It's happening right now
Yeah.
in many places. Just wanted to understand if there can be any help from your end in that perspective, like a configuring I don't know if you have the exposure to that, or
No, we deal with the systems, like, but it's always like mainframe we consider as a separate entity wherever I
okay,
yeah,
okay.
worked in, by the way. So even though we worked on the offloading projects again, okay. So, but I was never a part of, I mean, when the mainframe itself is coming into picture, so that means you need to consider the organization's breadth is already vast, by the way. One person can't do everything.
Okay, yeah.
So that's
So
where, we have modernized some of the things. By the way, we offloaded certain things, but I never seen the face of. I seen like how people are dealing with the mainframe and all. I have seen that, but inside that how it happens and all, I am not a strategist on that. By the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
So like after this,
yeah, sorry. Overall, you have a demand, by the way. So to that role,
okay.
people are looking, especially. Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry.
offloading from mainframe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks, Raghu.
People who raise the hand should unmute when you got a chance. Ram Babu not able to hear you. Yeah. Go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, hi Raghu. So I have experience in technical support around 3 years. Now I want to change the for the domain DevOps role.
Your voice is very low.
No, I'm clear to no.
Now it is good.
Yeah, so previously I have a 3 years experience in technical support.
Mhm.
So now I want to start the DevOps career.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, that's why I choose. I can see your channel, so a lot of people join from different organizations. So that's why I can choose your channel.
Yeah. Don't compare with others. That's a big problem, right? So if one became a DevOps engineer by attending my course, there is no guarantee that you will become.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what you're looking for, whether you're getting it here or not, you need to look it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Actually, I had a 6 years of gap, and before that, I have worked as a software trainee, where I used to work on the SharePoint and the .NET and the database. So I've just it's been 1 year now, and I'm working as a network support engineer. It is a telecom space. We used to do monitoring in the NOC team, and our client is Airtel. Before that, I have took a training in the Linux RSCSA, and also go through some AWS part of the cloud.
Okay.
Through Udemy. So that's I want to know that direct jumping from the NOC team to the cloud space in AWS, or should I go with the Linux administration first, because Linux play a major role in the DevOps space, because you just should know be familiar with the command line of that Linux. So
Yeah.
so that my question would be, after 6 years of gap and then in the NOC operations, so everything is in mess, looks like a mess for me. So that's I just want to know what you will suggest for me for this right now.
Yeah. So you can straight forward. This is one natural path for you to become an engineer as well from the support roles wherever you're coming in. So you can become an engineer, which is fine. And wherever if you come to DevOps also, it's natural. No worries on that. And coming to, I was thinking of telling another point. Like basically, like I think you were mentioning some worry point. I thought of telling something. I forget.
Actually, I was 6 years of gap, and after that I joined as in Airtel as in a NOC team where I used to do monitoring.
Yeah.
So like after doing CCNA and CCNP, and also after that I done Linux.
I got it.
So
Now I got it.
I've
Linux.
done so much things. So I'm a bit confused.
Right. Don't get onto Linux, by the way, because Linux is already 20-year-old. Okay. It's all
Okay.
20-year-old, so don't consider Linux admin as a separate role, by the way. Okay.
Okay.
That was a role for some time.
Mhm.
Okay. So because while the new product came into picture, so that role eventually was needed and that was there for some time. But end of the day, today's world, by the way, so especially with the cloud around, I think that role is no more sustaining role, especially. Okay.
Okay.
That is no more needed in the very first place. Linux
Mhm.
engineer, if Linux admin, anyone in 2024, if he is proudly saying I'm a Linux administrator, then he's not a Linux administrator.
Okay.
he is, he's just a puppet, I would say. Okay.
Mhm.
Someone is asking to do something, he's doing something,
Mhm.
not putting any brain. So my suggestion is don't go on to that. Okay. So Linux you consider as a knowledge only, right? So
Okay.
anywhere you consider you want to run it, servers all runs on Linux and you need to know Linux. That's bare minimum. Any person who
Okay.
works on the operation, knowing Linux is bare minimum. Shouldn't consider that as a specialization anymore, by the way.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So that's where you can come on to the engineering role directly and you can deal with that.
Okay. Thank you.
Uday, I'm not able to hear you.
Yes, sir. I have a career gap of near 4 to 5 years. Will you assist in interviews? They are asking how to explain the project and what was your role. Like, will you assist in explaining the project? Like 4 to 5 years.
I don't, I don't want to. To like So your question is a little bit tricky. More, you're going in a more general way because it directly depends upon how much you are learning. By the way, if you are learning to an extent of 4 year, 5-year guy, and the answer is yes. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
But teach or not does not matter, by the way, right? So if teach or not, of course I have to teach, but your learning has to be to that extent.
Okay.
So there are people even took my experience, even going beyond 10 years, 15 years also, people got the job. And
Okay.
again,
Okay. Thank you.
it's not a complete gap again. So they are working in some other domain. And even people during COVID time, the people came from completely non-IT domain with 15 years of experience also got the job and working in IT now. But again, like I would say, it all depends upon the person, individual, and his his aspiration to become towards a DevOps engineer. Okay. If you are too much aspired about it, and you can definitely become that. So it's all your effort. Okay. My part is very minimal, I would say, because my part is minimum delivered, right? So whether you learn or not, my sessions will complete. My delivery will complete. It only completely depends upon you. That's what I wanted to mention. But yes, we cover project. We'll take care of all those particular aspects. So it's you that you need to take it more, by the way.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
I'm not able to hear you, Syed Rabani.
Raghu, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Raghu, this Python and other programming language is also part of this course, right?
Correct.
But usually Python itself takes somewhere around 2 months, right? If we go through that complete course, will it be covered completely or the required part only covered?
There is no such thing of, Python you can learn for, after teaching for 2 months or you learn for 2 months, you feel that Python is completed.
It's yeah, it's not like that, but the most of the modules end to end usually they'll cover, right?
Every module you don't need it, right? You are a DevOps engineer. Python is having millions of modules, right? So just sitting
Yeah.
and learning every module does not make sense, right? So what is your requirement? And if you know how to use a module, like any other module, if your requirement is clear, you can use that. Otherwise, Python is always small only. Like any scripting language, or you take it, generally it is small only. Okay, but you're comparing with the programming language as a Python, that you're talking about as an app dev. Okay, application developer of Python, his road is different. Join hearing as a DevOps engineer, not a Python developer, right? So both are different roads, by the way. Okay, so that's where okay. So when his road in his road, he will see so many things. By the way, he'll talk about data structures. He'll talk about memory management. He'll talk about maybe like
tuning or other aspects.
Oops concept, UI concepts. Many things will come, right? So those are not
Yeah.
our journey, by the way. Our journey is different, and we use Python, right? So it applies to every tool as well, right? Now, let's say you know car riding means that doesn't mean you know from car manufacturing to running it, right? Right?
Yeah.
Manufacturing is some person, repair is some person. You are doing driving, by the way, right? Or whoever parts in that area, so who deal with the car. I know car means in your context you know driving. In the mechanic context you know how to repair it. In the manufacturer context you know how to make it. It's all different. It's as simple as that to the Python. So to our context, yes, we do that. And whatever it takes, let it take 2 months, let it go 2 months only. Our requirement, yeah, of our project.
Okay, so we only cover Python, right? Not this Golang and the other things, right?
Yes. But I would somehow, I mean, there's a mixed opinion in the market. By the way, a lot of people come and ask like Python. Actually, Golang has more potential for engineer, by the way. Okay, so how the market is requirements of many people coming as Python, and that's where we couldn't able to sell it very well. But otherwise, that's okay. Like end of the day, when you face the market, whatever the people ask, by the way, so you have to answer that, not the things that you learn. So that's okay, but that's fine. But if you learn Python, Golang also can deal with that. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Ashok, I'm not able to hear you. Moving on.
Good morning, Raghu. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm able to.
Yeah, myself Kirtana and I'm 2024 graduate. I'm interested to learn DevOps. Can I learn DevOps or else is it good to learn programming languages to get a job?
So I was mentioning to someone else also, like decision part you take care. Once you decided that I want to take DevOps, I can help you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Hi, Raghu.
Yeah.
So my question is, I have around 6 years of experience in Informatica, but I was on a career break from 2020 January. So I want to show my earlier experience, like I have a DevOps experience when I go for a new job. So is it possible that I can keep this experience of what I have learned before 2020?
Yeah, it is.
Like how was DevOps before 2020? Just I was asking that question.
It was there. It was never new, by the way. That's what.
Okay.
It was there from 2007 that time.
Okay. Thank you.
Hello, Raghu sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. This is Purna. I am a recent MCA graduate, 2023 graduate. So I need to upskill myself. So what are the suggestions you want to give me for choosing this DevOps course as a fresher?
As a fresher, you are looking for my suggestion.
Yes, sir.
Suggestion in the aspect of what? Like, I did not got it. Someone else also was asking. I was telling.
Yeah, it's equal to same question as other girl asked. It's a we are recent graduates, right?
Mhm.
So whether we should go for a programming any language or we should switch to DevOps side,
It's your
because
choice.
yes, sir. Yeah.
It's your choice only.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Why you would not become an IPS officer? Why you choose an engineer?
Okay,
Your
sir.
choice.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got it, sir. Thank you.
All right. Not able to hear you, Sanjay. Moving on.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, Raghu. Can you hear me?
Yes. I'm able to hear you.
Hello.
I am able to hear you, Sanjay.
God, what's happening? Hello.
Yes, Sanjay.
Raghu, I'm Sanjay. I have almost 15 years of experience in IT. I started my career as a mainframe developer, and now I'm doing a manual testing. Uh, just looking at the market trend, I mean, with the experience that we are going to have, I mean, after learning this, with the experience, are we still be consider doing technical work, or are we going to do some a lead or management sort of work with the experience we have? How's the exposure outside? Just want to know more on that.
It's your choice only, Sanjay.
No, it's not about choice. I'm just asking, like, how is the trend? I mean, do we really get technical work, doing technical work on DevOps, or how would we be considered with the experience and the we had actually in the IT?
No, my answer is still same. It's a choice. I got an opportunity to move on to the management side. I never moved on. I was in a
Yeah,
hands-on.
yeah. Even so, if you plan, if we want to do a technical work, still will we be considered with the experience we have?
I'm doing it. That's what I'm telling.
Yeah,
I'm also same experience, 15 years. I'm doing it.
yeah. Of course. Even now, being a I mean, the 15 years we do technical work. That's what like. So, is it okay, or can we go ahead with this? So
That is choice.
And the other question is, I see a lot of batches in the when I logged into the site. There are other batches and folders in there. Will we be able also go through those sessions and your sessions and all over during this year when we have access to this, or only your sessions?
Only mine.
Okay. Yeah, fine. Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi, Raghu. My name is Shrikant.
Yes.
Actually, I'm working. I completed my BTech in 2013. Later, after that, I got a job as a Amazon customer care executive in 2020. Now I'm doing that. So if I learn this AWS jobs, can I able to switch internally to Amazon itself?
Okay, I just muted you because there is a lot of noise from your side. So let me understand something. So you are a 2013 BTech passed out and you ended up in some sort of a role and within Amazon. Now you want to switch to the tech side of Amazon, within Amazon or something like that. Is that my understanding correct? Can you unmute and talk? Okay, you told. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's difficult, right? So because just by you hearing a couple of words, I mean, my suggestion shouldn't matter. Okay, so you think about it, by the way, what is best. But at least I had some people, so coming in Amazon who is from non-technical background and moved out of Amazon and joined in another organizations. Our previous students were there, so who became a DevOps engineer. Okay, so that's where like the possibilities are there. So whether it is possible for you or not, you better check it out for you. Yeah.
Hey Raghu, I forgot to ask one more thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, like during the course of this training, what resources and system requirements we should have, or like can I manage with my office laptop?
Yeah, it should be fine.
Right, and any other resources we should have,
No,
like
nothing.
you were mentioning about AWS membership or something like that.
Yeah.
What it will charge for us, right?
Right. Those we will let you know, like basically, right? So whatever is needed will be taken care. But Office laptop is fine. You know, to exclusively install any software or things like that. So it's all web browser things.
Oh, okay. Even like Jenkins CI/CD pipeline, like everything is web browser based, or
So you ask for a real-time training, right?
yeah.
Real time, you don't run everything in your laptop.
No, not
Ideally,
at all. Not at all. Yeah.
so forget about that option.
Yeah, and one more thing is like, see if at the end of this training, like if I want to pursue some certification, like what certification do you suggest with the course, whatever we are going to undergo?
Yeah. See, when you
So,
actually look for certifications, and I mean, at least one or two certifications, if you really want to keep in your resume, maybe you can consider one from Amazon and one from Kubernetes, I think should be fine. Or one from Terraform also, it should be fine.
okay, any specific certifications
I
from
don't think so.
AWS?
Recruiter will look for that much. I don't think so. See, for certification, if you do, you will not bypass the interview and get an offer letter.
Yeah, I understand that.
So that means why are you doing the I mean, why you are doing the certification? Because of two aspects.
Just to, yeah.
One is you need to know about more, more about that tool or that services, whatever they provide, right? So you get a more context onto that. That is one thing. Second thing is either maybe it puts your some weight on your resume where the recruiter will pick,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So when you are actually using it for the second option, okay, does not really matter, like, so what certification you do, recruiter will anyhow will not bother too much that, what certification. At least he may look for whether you have done one Kubernetes or AWS or not. So anything is okay, I would say. But knowledge purpose, you go for any kind of training, by the way. So for knowledge purpose you are doing, then in Amazon, I would suggest you to go with AWS SAA solution architect, or sorry, SAP, I'll suggest, professional, I'll suggest, or
Okay.
DO is also, I'll suggest, DevOps, okay, is also I would suggest, only for learning purpose. Even certification also, you go with that only. Now Amazon allows you to do any certification, right? Earlier you had to take one roadmap, but now they are removing that barriers, by the way. So you can go with any certification directly. So target those certifications. So at least when you do the certification, you get a value, or your learning will elevate, by the way, by doing that. At least as a solution architect professional, by the way, or DevOps, by the way, DevOps professional.
DevOps professional. Okay.
Yeah.
And Kubernetes, what you mentioned?
Kubernetes, you have hardly 3 certifications. Two are basic certifications. One is administrator. Maybe you
Okay.
think about administrator, by the way. That's
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Raghu.
Right. Yes, Ashok. I'm not able to hear you, Ashok.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi, Ravi.
Yeah.
Currently, I'm working in Infosys as a designation of system engineering, and we are in support project. can I switch to DevOps side?
Yeah, you can.
Is or okay. How much cost will be takes for tools?
Sorry, how much?
Tools cost it will be for Amazon only. We have to pay, right?
Yeah, additionally, only to Amazon we had.
Oh, okay, okay. Thank you.
All right.
Hello. Hello, hi, I'm Omkar. I'm working as a Linux admin right now,
Mhm.
and I'm working in a rotational shift.
Okay.
So it is how can I manage to attend all the lectures on the fixed time? So that's what I'm trying to ask.
Like I always mention, your aspiration matters, by the way, right? So you can do it in many ways, right?
Okay.
You can ask someone to change the shift. You can do that. Okay. Maybe that
Okay.
1.5 hour. So saying a Linux admin, I don't think so. 8 hours you'll have a busy job, right?
Yes,
So at
yes.
least 1.5 hour, at least you attend from the mobile. Okay.
Yes, right.
During that 1
Then
hour, you take a breakfast. Okay. You take a breakfast.
right.
Okay. So use that breakfast break. You go to washroom and attend. It
Yes,
doesn't.
yes, yes.
You have that
Yes.
particular, aspiration and
Hmm.
determination about towards learning the DevOps. You can learn it, right? So,
Yes. And can we get the recorded session for that?
yeah, you will.
We are getting na?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay, fine. Okay, okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right, I don't say anything. Yeah, in the website they have mentioned a lifetime access will get changed, by the way. So we recently moved on to one of the portal, and that portal is providing us a limitation of number of courses batches to be there, by the way. So, and why are we going to that course is because we were getting a lot of piracy problem. Okay, especially a lot of people are actually, at least I would say, like, last 2-3 months, I caught even 20 people, okay, easily, okay, in the lab query session. They are purchasing the video from unknown source somewhere, okay, and then and then so they end up labbing even to the lab session directly, okay. So, and when we cross checking the details, we are able to identify. And yeah, so that's where we were thinking, so to have a proper channel, and that's where we purchased one portal and we are hosting in the portal. So that's where the videos are becoming a 1-year access, and that's what I was mentioning. So when you really need it beyond that 1 year as well, you please come and ask for that, okay. So then probably at that time, whatever the batch is going on, we'll host you there. It's not a big deal, okay. So yeah, now you are paying a large amount and purchasing this course. Someone is paying, like, so 0.5% of this course price and taking the videos. Right. So that's how it becomes. All right. Otherwise, I'm good. And that's all from my side for today. Any questions? You can go ahead. Otherwise, I'm good. I'm done. Okay. I don't see. Yes, Omkar, go ahead. Omkar, you raised your hand. Yes, Anwar, go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Very good afternoon to you.
Yeah.
So the thing is that, sir, I am from non-IT background. I'm currently working as a administrative assistant. So, I'd like to know from you that will you provide any job assistant, or so I'll put my efforts. I will learn, and I'll do my 100%, and I'll do whatever I can do for learning. So, will you provide placements assistance after completion of course?
See, we can do something, okay, about it. Definitely, no doubt in that. But let's mark it as no upfront commitment, because today maybe we have a consultancy asking for a couple of jobs, but after 3-4 months, after the training, and after that you take 3-4 months of completion of the learning, and you come back, and that time, what is there on the ground, I don't know, right? So that's where let's not consider that as a upfront commitment. Okay, it's subject to availability, and definitely we'll do something if possible during that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. That's all I want to know. Thank you.
Yeah, Raghu, like one more last thing from me.
Yeah.
Like, what is the class timing, and where do we attend? And till now, like, there is no request for payment, right? Like, how does it
It
work?
will come. Don't worry on that. So we'll take care of that. So first, your focus is just attend that section.
Yeah.
It will come.
That's
So the class
okay.
timings depends upon your time zone, is all available here. So just check it.
Okay. So, like, link will be through the same link we attended today,
Yeah.
or we will get a everyday link?
No. The link is same. Open it.
Okay.
And just click on session link, join the session.
Okay. Directly through the website also we can join, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, hi, Raghu, I have one small doubt.
Yeah.
Can we get the recording sessions if
Yeah.
we are absent on that day?
Right. You will get it. That's what I've done.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Yeah, and last one more question, Raghu. Like many people would say, as a fresher, is it good to learn like programming languages? They would say rather than technologies. What would you say about it?
See, it's a difficult thing, right? Because even as a fresher, I went to the technology, I'm surviving today, right? So I also had a choice of becoming a programmer versus an engineer. I choose the engineer path.
Okay.
So that's where your aspiration matters, right? So why are you looking for if you are putting a condition like saying that, you're saying that to the God of,
Yeah, but
listen, okay? You're telling to the God, going to the God and say that, okay, I will break the coconut only if you give me this, you offer whatever I ask is fulfilled only, then I'll come to you, right? It can't be like that, right? It should not be that way, right? So your aspiration is matters by the what do you want to become, and you put the effort towards that. Okay, a tea person is ruling today India, by the way. He was a tea seller.
yeah,
He was selling tea. There's
like
no family background, anything. He became a prime minister of India, and his aspiration matters, by the way, right? So it's only like just not like that, So okay, if that doesn't mean that every tea person is not becoming prime minister. Every prime minister is not a tea selling person, right? So you need to understand. So our aspiration. See, what you want to become, you should have a, you should. You should have a career. Think, okay, I should become this. Okay, because of this, I have to learn these things. I will learn this. It's not like, okay, I'll get the job, I'll do this. I'll not get the job, I'll not do this. It's a very wrong mindset today people are going on, by the way. That's very wrong. Okay, if
yeah,
that was the case, by the way, if Albert Einstein would have thought like, okay, or let's say Thomas Alva Edison would have thought like, okay, so if I get a good name only, I'll invent a bulb, and never the bulb will come. And Nicholas Tesla, okay, I want to get a name only, okay, I want to get a lot of money, then only I'll make electricity. So today you'll not have electricity, otherwise you'll not have bulb also. Nicholas Tesla died with hunger. He want to give the electricity to the next generation. You got electricity. He never thought of money, by the way. You would have thought of the money, then you would have chosen some other path, right? It's all about, like, I'm just giving very two hard examples, but you need to understand we are going in a very wrong path. Think about, sit and think about what is your aspiration. I want to become like that. I'm not sure whether your education, you really want to become an engineer, you did engineering, or is just on the fluke only, like on the flow. How was it? How did you did the engineering? How did you landed in the engineering? You want to become an engineer, or is the only path you choose and is a simple path you just become the engineer?
no, I wanted to become engineer since my intermediate.
Then what is the education you have done? Like what stream of?
I'm from electronics, EC.
Then why are you here, by the way? Your aspiration is wrong. You're telling something, I want to become an electronics engineer. So you should have been applying for the core companies. Why are you in this engineer? Why are you in this IT course, by the way?
Yep. But the core companies are not coming to our campus.
Who
As
told you?
of now,
Who told you, Kirtana? Electronics is one of the hot cake in today's market.
yeah, of course.
It's a chip
But
market. There's an old wet chip shortage is going on.
yeah,
A lot of engineers which is lacking there.
okay.
Okay. So first of all, change your mindsets. By the way, that's a very important aspect. You can still become a DevOps engineer or you still become a developer. What do you want, by the way? You can't actually go towards to that. No one can help you. Okay, you're mature, like at least you cross 20 years, maybe 21, 22 age you are. Okay, you're young, by the way, right? You have a choice of making yourself, like, you know, you need a guidance from someone. At least you
Yeah,
can
sure.
understand your
Thank you.
surroundings, right? So think about it. Okay, if it is really working it out, do that. And whatever it takes, become a DevOps engineer. Whatever it takes, you want to become a developer, whatever it takes, become a developer. I know a company where I used to work in Oracle, and there is a security guard who became a software developer. He's a security guard, by the way. He's an aspirate. He aspired and all, you know. So I mean, he was like a he was like he wanted to do that. He was determined completely, and he became it. It doesn't really matter. Okay, if you what you want, first of all, you clear that in your mind, and you can do that. Okay, I'm telling in a strong way. Don't take me wrong, but your doing thoughts are wrong, by the way. So if I tell and you know you go with the DevOps course, you don't get the job. Now you have someone to blame. That's your choice. Okay. It's you don't want you to blame, by the way. That's a big problem here. Yeah, it should be
Yeah,
you
okay.
to
Thank
blame,
you.
by the way, if anything goes wrong, not the someone, right? So, I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, today's education in India, I know that, you know, people are not telling well, and, you know, it's all cycle only, circus only. Okay, you do complete this after this after this, and all. You retire and die. There's no, you know, so passion about what to do, what to become and all. So think about it, step back maybe. Okay, think about it. What do you want to become? If you really think about becoming a DevOps engineer, I can help you with that, with the knowledge.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Raghu, one more question. Actually, usually, what would the project size? I mean, if it's size of a project is of 100 people, and you have some 50 developers and some 10 to 15, how much size would be for DevOps? Would it be only one person doing all this thing, or you would require about 2 to 3 people of even this? How it should? I mean, I don't understand. I'm just trying to imagine like that concept. I mean,
Yeah, generally, what Agile tells is mostly like our Agile practices is 10:2 kind of a thing. If there are 10 persons in the team, if 8 are developer, including QA and all, so mostly 2 engineers should be fine, 1 or 2. That depends upon, again, the persons you're keeping. If it is a senior guy kind of a thing, so 1 person should be fine. Especially I'm coming from a consulting background, so this is how we kind of quote it to the, you know, organizations, or, you know, give the I mean, quotation to the customers, like with the project team structure and all. So that's where I'm coming in and telling. So that's how it is. And again, that depends, by the way. So then the projects, if the breadth of the projects are going more and more, let's say you go to a bank and, you know, so, and there are many products around that. And again, a platform team evolves and there will be having, you know, 30, 35 people will be there easily. I'm just saying minimal, bare minimum. Okay. It should be more, by the way. Okay. So that's how it is. I worked in a Oracle for a platform, by the way. So where we used to have 230, 240 people around across the globe. Okay. It's a big platform where we used to maintain 1.3 lakh of machines. Okay. So the engineers we used to work across the world was that count, by the way. Okay. So, and again, there's only the development engineers, whereas the production engineers used to be there for I don't know their cut count. So the reliability engineers and all will used to be there. Okay, that is again different. Okay, so it all depends, by the way. So you go with simple agile and you are starting with a one microservice or couple of microservices. One team is doing maybe 10:2 is a decent number to tell, by the way.
I mean, initially we work on the development and then the support picture comes up. So even the DevOps engineer would also be part of the support team, or he will always do a development sort of work?
No, there is no development and support kind of a thing. His work is to, again, the roles I was mentioning, release the application smoother.
Yeah.
And also maintain it, right? So now it all depends upon the roles and responsibilities be given to that guy. His role is only to release the application, and after that, the operations in the sense like, maintaining is being taken care by another team. So then, yeah, so I think 10:1 also is fine. Okay. So no, for an example, this microservice, now let's say come to the very small company where you have only one product, and maybe you have like, let's say 20 developers, and maybe 4 or 5 engineers must needed, by the way. Okay. Because you have to maintain it and all also, right? So end to end you're doing is like that.
Okay.
So just go on to the pure development side of the story. Okay. Let's say forget about the managing it, by the way, and you want to get onto the development side of it. So just consider it as 2:2, 10:2. And that 2 also depends upon the experience. If persons are coming from like, let's say 6-7 years of experience, maybe I'll put like, 6-7 years of experience, one guy, and one guy with 1 or 2 years of experience. Generally, I'll consider this way, right? Or like, let's say if the guy is coming itself is 10 years of experience, maybe one person itself is fine to deal with that. So that's how we generally do it. And again, it's not a generalized topic to discuss as well. It always varies, by the way. So there's a lot of variables around it, so external factors that would be considered to enable it, disable it. Because I work for a consulting firm where, if I put more people, I'll get more billing, right?
Yeah.
That's where I'll try to sell more things. So it's may not be the real thing, right, as well, right? So that's all depends.
Yeah, I mean, there's also support role in short. I mean, even after you put everything, everything in place, there should be support person. I mean, who always take care of all this. And once you automate, the DevOps person goes away from the project, or
I understand. So
yeah.
let's consider support team as a separate only. Let's not involve us into that. The L1 support you consider separate. Even that also, I try to mention in my PPT also, right? So while I was doing it, so the teams when I was talking about, so the support team I always mention separate only. I am not involving as part of my role. Generally, like L1, let it be separate team. I'll consider as a 2% kind of at the support side if I look.
So he's going to be part of the team even after making all this, building everything, and they should, because their continuous development and again moving everything is going. So they would be person required for the project. That's what on a whole I'm thinking in that sense.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Santoshi, not able to hear you.
Hi, sir. I'm Santoshi. Actually, according to the job description, all of them are asking for 4 to 5 years of experience. Then how come the freshers be placed in such scenario?
All the jobs.
Yes, sir.
All the jobs. Let's see. I see. Even I don't know, right? So maybe you may be true, or I may be true, by the way. Let's understand from the market. Why are we, today in the information world, why do you always need to, some person would come and comment? You have the data, right? So opennaukri.com, at least India-wise, it is widely used one, right? Now let's say put as DevOps engineer. Okay. My experience, I'll keep it as fresher only. Enter location, I don't think so. This is an aspect to me to worry about. So search for that. So how many jobs I'm getting? How many I got it filters? So 30 jobs are there. So that means all the jobs, it may not be true, by the way. Okay. So that's where the competition may be high. No doubt in that. Right. So 30 jobs is very much.
Okay. As per my scenario, I have 6 years of gap. So can I get placed as a fresher?
How many years of gap you have?
6 years.
Then how can you consider yourself as a fresher? Fresher is nothing but a graduate who is graduated in this year or last year, mostly considered as a graduate person, right? So you're very long back. So you can't go into the market and say I'm a fresher. So people may not consider.
Okay, sir.
All right. So that's all from my side then. Then let's meet in tomorrow. Same link. Session timing will be 6 a.m. IST. If you're in a different time zone, please look for your time zone details. All right. And let's meet in tomorrow and get it. And the today's recording will be uploaded. Maybe we are ending the session right now. So maybe after 1 hour, you'll have it available inside the same web page, by the way. So do check it out. After an hour or 1.5 hours, you should be able to see it. Right. Thank you. See you in one more hand, I see.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I'm from BCom background and currently working in Kerala Healthcare. So I thought to switch to DevOps engineer. So it's possible. I'm putting my efforts, everything. It's correct.
I don't want to. That's what I was.
Yeah. I know you. You don't want to repeat again. I listen your every point.
Possibilities will be there, boss. That's what I'm.
Sure.
Sure. A T% become a prime minister is a possibility. Anything is.
Yeah.
So if your determination is there, you can become, no doubt in
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone. See you.
See you.
One more hand. Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir, I have a question, a quick question. Sir, what if we cannot attend the course, but can we see the videos and then ask you questions?
Yeah. Of course, a lot of people does that, by the way. So they don't be coming into the live sessions generally because different reasons. They have their work time problem and things like that. So they'll go through the recording on the same day at certain point of time, whenever they get the time. And during the practice or something, when they have the questions, they can always come back and ask the questions in that lab session. Or else they can write a post saying that, hey, I have this question. Anything is fine.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, sir.